blacksmith's hammer falls, and a host of men are slain. A mighty lion roars, and all but one man quiver. A witch casts a spell that resonates throughout all of time. A woman weeps, and her tears never stop flowing. A simple phrase can bring all of these powerful images to mind. Classical allusions are the most potent of arrows in an orator's quiver. To employ them, to call upon them, shows a mastery over the written word. Shakespeare used classical allusions. Allusions consisting mainly of ancient Greek and Roman myths, as portrayed by these Greek characters, to emphasize his points, or to draw comparisons and thus paint a better picture.
Hey guys, come here. What is it?
I don't know.
It's a trap!
No way. Let's check it out.
What do you reckon's down here?
It's so dirty.
We should have gloves for this kind of deal.
How long do you think it's been there?
Have you seen this before?
Let me see.
Whosoever reads this, expect not the best. Stead a number of trials thou must face. Until these are complete, thou shalt not have rest. Indeed, into most strange nights thou shalt gaze. To escape of this fate, I have cursed thee. Analyze these scenes you must, this is true. Explain what they mean, taxing as it may be. I say honestly, I don't pity you.
Whoa!
Guys, what's going on?
What was that?
Guys, we just keep moving. That always works in movies.
Droogs, unless we explain the play, I think we'll be stuck here.
Forever.
¡Ay, Dios mío! Santa María que está diciendo por ahí, dame que siento soñada. Are you good? Oh my god, I broke a nail!
Do the boys carry it away?
Aye, they do, my lord. Hercules and his load, too.
Hercules? He was the 12 labors guy, right?
Yeah, he had to kill a lion, kill the hydra, capture a deer, kill a boar, clean some stables, kill some birds, capture a bull, steal some horses, retrieve a belt, get some cattle, steal some apples, and kidnap a three-headed hound. If I remember correctly, and I do, to get the apples, he had to carry the world literally on his shoulders.
Could that be what Rosencrantz was referring to? The load is the world, or rather, the world of playgoers.
I think I once read that the Globe Theatre, where many and more of Shakespeare's plays were shown, had a sign of Hercules holding the world out front. You don't reckon that's another meaning, one closer to home?
That sounds reasonable and like something Shakespeare would do.
I told you it was a trap! No!
The bold wind speechless, and the orb below is hush as death. Anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new a work. And never did the Cyclops' hammer fall on Mars' armor, forged for proof etern, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword, now falls on Priam. Mars was the Roman counterpart to Ares, the god of war. Mars was very sadistic and hateful. He had an affair with Vulcan's wife, Venus. He was also rather bloodthirsty and killed a great many people.
Reuben.
Methinks we will have to dissect this one line by line.
I second that. The first verse is simple enough. The Cyclops were blacksmiths. They made Zeus's bold suit into Titanomachy and probably other gods' weapons as well.
Mars was
kind of a jerk. He was Venus's lover while she was married to Vulcan, and he was a bloodthirsty too.
The Cyclops must have been aware of how evil a god they were helping, no? So Shakespeare is comparing those feelings of remorse the Cyclops might have had to those felt by those involved in the murder of virtuous King Priam.
My pants are still on.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing. Confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property on wholesome life usurp immediately.
Hecate is known as the goddess of the night, ghosts, and witchcraft. She is often associated with what is dark and magical. The addition of a witch to virtually any environment brings to mind a foreboding feeling of something dark that is to come. Hamlet is no different. The use of a witch goddess in the playception lets the reader know that a long, deep sleep awaits the character in Hecate's crosshairs. In the playception, misfortunate Gonzago. In real life, even less fortunate Hamlet Sr.
Hecate is a witch, which means she is associated with what is dark and magical.
If you add a witch to any environment, you make it incredibly ominous, which brings to mind a sense of foreboding.
Well, Hamlet's really no different. The use of the witch goddess in the playception lets the reader know that a long, deep sleep awaits the character in Hecate's crosshairs. In the playception, misfortunate Gonzago. In real life, even less fortunate Hamlet Sr. What does Hamlet look like?
What?
What does Hamlet look like?
What?
What country are you from?
What?
What ain't no country I ever heard of. They speak English and what?
What?
English, Mrs. Madam. Do you speak it?
What?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, Mrs. Madam. Say what one more gosh darn time.
You like Pulp Fiction way too much.
Yeah.
¡Ay, Dios mío! Santa María que está diciendo por ahí, dame que se nos oye.
For Hecuba, what's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he shall weep for her?
Hecuba was the wife of King Priam and the Queen of Troy. She lived a tragic life, at least the last 10 years, while Troy was being sacked.
Hecuba was a really tragic figure.
Her husband was killed.
Her city sacked.
Her children murdered.
Hamlet decides to contrast the tragic Hecuba to his own mother, whom he considers inferior. Inferior in that she remarried and showed little to no sentiment at her husband's death.
However, there have been other versions of Hecuba. One in which she is a symbol of revenge, for she scratches out her son's killer's eyes. Hamlet may very well be alluding to that, in the sense that he wishes Gertrude showed more anger towards Claudius.
Oh my god, I broke a nail!
A little month, or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears. Why she, oh God, a beast, that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married with my uncle.
Niobe was an ancient woman who bragged of her numerous healthy children. The gods decided to teach her a lesson. A very harsh lesson, as it would turn out to be. They murdered all of her children. All of them. Really. Seriously. Every single one.
Niobe was in the Matrix.
Good job, Sarah High.
Niobe has always been represented as a weeping woman due to her cruel and unusual punishment. Whenever a poet or author calls upon the Niobe illusion, he is simply emphasizing the act of weeping and what it means.
So in this case, Hamlet is remembering how his mother acted at her husband's funeral. She was all in tears.
It should also be noted that Niobe was very much responsible for her children's murder, and Hamlet, believing Gertrude to be partially responsible for Hamlet Sr.'s murder, most certainly calls on that aspect of the myth.
My fate cries out and makes each petty archer in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve.
The Nemean lion was the offspring of Typhon and Echidna. Those monstrous beasts existed solely to terrorize. It possessed indestructible skin, capable of repelling any piercing attack. Moreover, its claws were sharper than any blade, able to tear any armor to ribbons. To overcome this, Hercules choked the life out of the lion and used its own claw to skin the beast.
According to my research, the Nemean lion was quite strong, seeing as how no weapon could pierce it. Let me emphasize that, no weapon. To combat this, Hercules choked the life out of it.
So one could say the lion was rather hardy.
Hamlet is pretty set in his decision to follow the ghost of his father, or at least what appears to be his father. Hamlet, by comparing himself to the impenetrable and thus unchangeable Nemean lion, further exemplifies his, for lack of a better word, stubbornness in his choice to follow the ghost. Taking this lovely simile a step further, the only way to stop Hamlet from following his heart would be to choke him out. Allow me to demonstrate.
Not again!
Well, this is interesting.
Look here, upon this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow, Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars's to threaten and command, a station like the herald Mercury, new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill. A satyr is one of a troop of male companions accompanying Pan, the nature and fertility god, and Dionysus, the god of wine, with goat-like features. Painted vases depict mature satyrs as being strongly built with flat noses, large pointed ears, curly long hair, full beards, and the lower quarters of a goat.
Man, so much to talk about.
Hamlet refers to his father as Hyperion, a powerful Greek titan, while he refers to his uncle as a lowly satyr by comparison.
Hamlet's reference to his dead father as Hyperion and to his uncle Claudius as a satyr illustrates Hamlet's contempt for Claudius. His father is godlike, while his uncle is bestial. Help me out.
Weren't satyrs often considered sinful creatures? That would imply Hamlet's disdain toward his uncle. Hamlet has much respect for his deceased father, while he views Claudius as a drunken, lustful half-goat. Guys?
Ai, Dios mío! Santa María, que está no cielo, por favor, ayúdame, que si no soy yo.
I told you it was a trap. No.
Look here, upon this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow, Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars's to threaten and command, a station like the herald Mercury, new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill.
Frailty thy name is, woman.
Sorry.
Kaite!
Kaite!
So beautiful, so much emotion. Bravo, my good sir, bravo.
Hamlet Sr. possesses the beauty of Hyperion, often said to be the most beautiful of pagan gods.
The head of Jupiter, king of the gods.
Gunslinger's eyes akin to Mars, eyes that threaten and command.
And a posture like that of Mercury, Hamlet even goes as far as stating that every god had a hand in the making of Hamlet Sr. This doting on Hamlet's part breaks the reader's heart, as it reveals a tender, loving, and an all-crazy side in Hamlet. One cannot help but hope the guilty parties get their just deserts.
Oh, Horatio, I'm dying. We're free!
Yay, we get to go home now!
What did you expect? It's a tragedy.